All right, well, you're probably wondering what to bring to Israel. Well, the good news is that at the GTI site, we've got a GTI preparation pocket guide, and there'll be some things on here that I don't cover here, but there'll be minor things like things that you might want to bring with you for toiletry and things like that. I like to bring a little extra packets of instant coffee that I can just mix with some hot water in the hotel room if you like extra coffee. So the thing that I'll tell you is that you can bring 1 or 2 suitcases if you like. I like to travel light, so I just bring one of these smaller carry-on suitcases, and I don't overpack. Basically, I don't bring a whole lot of change of clothes. What I'm wearing is what I'm going to be bringing, so I'm going to already have a pair of jeans on. I'm going to have a sweatshirt. I like to have both a pullover, but I also like to have this kind that has the zippers so that depending on the weather, I'm kind of dressed in layers. But as far as what I'm going to pack in my suitcase, well, I'm going to really focus on bringing plenty of undergarments. These are my boxers and these are my t-shirts to make sure that I've got plenty for the week. And of course, socks as well. I'm going to make sure I've got enough socks to cover the whole period there. You can bring some laundry detergent and wash some things in a sink for any place that or a tub for any place that we're there overnight for a couple of nights. But make sure you got enough stuff to get you through. Other than that, I'm not bringing a lot of stuff. I'm going to bring, a few extra items that I'm going to wear throughout the week or I'm going to change in, some extra t-shirts. I'll also bring an extra pair of jeans with me. And basically, I'm just using 2 pairs of jeans through it all. Now, you might want to wear those pants that you can take off and make into shorts if you want. But if you don't have those, then I would suggest bringing a bathing suit because we're going to be floating in the Dead Sea. And also, if you'd like, you can go swimming in the Sea of Galilee. It's going to be a little bit cooler up there. I'd say anywhere between 50 and 65 degrees. But I find that the water on the Sea of Galilee is warmer than pretty much Lake Michigan at any time of the year. So I like to go for a swim. I like to also bring 1 or 2 of these thermal shirts. Again, I want to dress in layers. The typical temperature during the time of year that we're going to be there if you're going on the December trip is going to be cooler. That's good in a lot of ways. We'll talk about that in a minute, but sometimes I like to have a thermal shirt underneath, and then I've got a sweatshirt, t-shirt, and then I'll have my light jacket. Also, remember to bring your favorite pajamas. Oh, here are my jeans. So just 1 extra pair of jeans and my favorite pajamas. And here's that sweatshirt I told you. So basically, I'm going to be wearing t-shirts, sweatshirts most of the time. And I'm also going to have, of course, a light jacket with me. I'm going to want to bring a nice shirt just in case I want to wear that out if I go to dinner at a nicer place or I get dressed up for any reason. There's a place on the Sea of Galilee right near where we'll be staying if we're staying on the east side of the Galilee on our particular trip, which in this December 2023 we are. And there's a place that you can eat fish, the same kind of fish that Peter had caught. And if you want, you don't have to, but you can wear a nice shirt for that. Since we are going in the rain season, I like to bring a light raincoat. Make it something that, you can roll up real easy, fits into your luggage, it's lightweight, and also a small umbrella. It's probably not going to be raining that hard, but it might rain on and off throughout the day, especially when we're up in the northern region of Israel, and it's usually a fairly light to medium rain, and it's nice to have these. Speaking of that, you're probably wondering about footwear. Sometimes I like to bring my boots with me during rain season because then if they get muddy at all, I can just rinse them off. But they're not really necessary. But what is necessary is a good pair of really comfortable tennis shoes. So you're going to want something that you can walk, 3 to 4 miles in a day beyond your feet and standing a bit without your feet getting too sore. Now, you might want a pair of shoes or something to cover those shoes if it's raining out so that your shoes don't get super wet. So sometimes I bring an extra pair of shoes, one just in case it rains and I don't mind them getting wet, and the other for dry places. I also like to bring water shoes. And the reason is because, like I said, we'll be going into the Dead Sea. It has a lot of salt on the bottom that is deposited, won't hurt your feet. And the part that we go in may not have any salt at all because it's more for tourists to be able to come and take a dip. So they've cleaned it out a bit. But I especially like these for Hezekiah's Tunnel. So we're going to be going into Hezekiah's Tunnel, which has water that's getting close to waist deep in some areas, and you'll want your water shoes to be able to go in there. It's not going to be too hot the time of year that we're going, anytime really between November and February. But you might want to get one of these hats that keeps the sun off and you can put the brims out. Otherwise, a baseball cap or another kind of hat should be fine. And speaking of it's not going to be terribly hot, you will not need to have a big platypus. Now, if we were going in the middle of the summer and we'd want one of those 2-liter water packs with the hoses on it, but we're not going there in the middle of summer, so you're not really going to get dehydrated too easily. We're going to have tons of water on the bus with us that you can use, big water bottles that you can refill in. I like to take one of these water bottles that seals up really well, so if I tip it or anything like that, it's not going to leak on me, and it's easy to be able to have access to. So take a water bottle. You will be getting some things from GTI, a backpack that'll be similar to this. It will have a place for a platypus, but again, you won't need a platypus on this particular trip. The other thing I recommend for the flight is that you would bring one of these. I haven't used these for years, and last year I used one for the first time, and I discovered that it's really nice on a flight for being able to sleep because your head isn't bobbing around everywhere. Otherwise, I was doing the chin catch. The only problem with these is that they do take up some space. The nice thing is they usually have snaps, so I would definitely get one with a snap on it. And then you can actually just attach it to the outside of your backpack. That way it's not taking up extra space inside. GTI is going to provide you with some things that are going to be very helpful, like a flashlight, because we will be going into some dark caves and cisterns, and you'll understand better what that means when we get there. But it's nice to have a flashlight, and they will provide you with a flashlight like this. They're also going to provide you with a nice Israel study guide with room for journaling. It'll have pretty much all of the sites we're going to visit, Bible passages, some of which we'll be looking at and basing our studies on, and a place for notes. So be looking for that as we get closer to the trip date. They'll also provide you with a nice journal so that you can take notes of your own, and this is one of the trips that I was on. And you can see on just one of the trips, we're doing a lot of studying, a lot of learning. They'll also provide you with a card holder and a passport holder. One of the things that you're going to want to get if you want to be able to have internet access, as well as I like to use Google Maps and kind of see where I'm at. And you can also mark the places where you've been on Google Maps while you're there. You can drop a pin. So I get Talk and Save, and this is something directly from Israel, and I get onto their website, the Talk and Save website, and order it. You put the dates in for when you're going to be there. This is actually good for a month, so I like to have it start a few days before I get there and end well after I'm gone, just in case on either side I need it. What's nice is that they're not very expensive. I think I spent about $35, and it has a lot of gigabytes on it, and it's good for anywhere in Israel. Once you get to the airport in Tel Aviv, you take your SIM card out and you just pop this one in, and boom, you've got access. You no longer have your old phone number, although there's an option to pay a little bit extra that you can keep your American phone number as well. I don't do that because you can use your Facebook Messenger or other instant messaging kind of things. Although your text messaging will no longer be associated with your number, you can use texting to be able to talk to people if you want. But I find that Facebook Messenger or Snapchat or WhatsApp works really well for me to stay in contact with people back home, and I still have all of my email access. So I highly recommend one of these. Like I said, it's just a matter of taking your SIM card out, popping this one in, you're good to go. Another very, very important piece that GTI will provide you with is an adapter. This is an adapter. It's really nice, and I like to actually bring a USB adapter to this. I plug my USB adapter into this, and my USB adapter is pretty small, but it has about 5 slots for USB cords, because that's mostly what I use, my phone and other things that need to be charged via USB chargers, and sometimes we have various types of chargers for that. But this is good for those kinds of things, not so good for your hair dryer or your electric shaver if you're using something that you have to plug in to shave. So any of those higher powered devices, what you might want to have, I usually don't bring this most places I go because I don't use a hair dryer. But This is a universal converter. The difference is that most places, like Israel, aren't using the same electrical currency we are. So the converter, you can plug into the wall with your adapter, and then your converter will have USB ports as well as regular American outlet ports, and that will actually convert for anything that needs the precise 110 electrical currency that we're using. So I would get on Amazon and look for something that actually says it's a converter rather than just an adapter. But like I said, for pretty much everything I use, this adapter has some USB ports in it, and it has all of the various adaptations you need. So that should be good for your journey. I like to bring some of my own snacks as well. So you won't need a lot of snacks. You'll be getting 3 meals a day. But if you want something to snack on, I suggest different trail mixes. Here's a nice one, tropical, or here's your pretty traditional mountain trail mix. And I also like to bring some Twizzlers. So think about things that you might want to bring and snack on that are easy to carry. You can bring food into the airport. The only thing that you can't transition is with liquids until you get on the other side of the security. Then you can. All right, so I like to bring some Ziploc bags. Any liquids you're going to want to put into a 1-quart Ziploc bag. Some countries are more strict on the size of the bag than others, but 1 quart is standard. And I also like to bring a smaller kitchen-sized trash bag for any of my laundry that I want to keep separated from the clean clothes. And then finally, in addition to your light raincoat, I like to bring a spring or fall coat with me. And so I wear this typically over, like I said, layers. And I also bring a pair of gloves. And these are just $2 work gloves for the yard. You don't need anything fancy. I like these because they're lightweight and they're small. Those are the things that are the big take-withs. Don't forget your passport, of course. And as far as currency, pretty much most of the places we go, all the places we go, we're going to be able to take a credit card or even US cash in any of the shops that we're going to be in for the most part. But sometimes in Jerusalem, in the smaller shops, I don't like to use my credit card because I'm just a little more cautious. And then I can show you in Jerusalem where you can go to a regular Israel bank ATM and withdraw money. You can use either a credit card, or if you let your bank know, the actual cheapest way to do it is to use your ATM card. But you need to make sure that you let your bank know that you will be traveling so that they don't block you from doing that. All right, look forward to more videos on more things concerning Israel, and please feel free to send any further questions that others might also like to hear answered. Thanks a lot. One of the things that's important to know is that at certain sites we go to Israel, you will have to wear what we call a modesty kit. And basically what that means is that you're going to want to be covered from your shoulders, neck down, and there may be repercussions if you aren't. And that's because at some sites like the Temple Mount, where you see my family standing right now and my boys wearing skirts, you are not allowed there with shorts or lots of skin showing. It's fine if you have short sleeves, but you want to make sure that those sleeves at least come down past your shoulders. And then you want to make sure that you're covered down to your ankles. That's also going to be true at some of the church sites that we go to in Galilee and also in the Jerusalem area. For instance, when we go to the Mount of Olives and go to the Church of All Nations where the Garden of Gethsemane is, some of those places you will be denied entrance if you are not wearing clothing that covers you pretty much from the neck down. So make sure you take something like a modesty kit. Some people like to wear those pants that have the zip-off bottoms that can turn into shorts, and then they can just put them back on. Otherwise, you can just bring a skirt if you're a woman. If you are not a woman, or even if you are a woman and you go to the Temple Mount and you are not prepared, they will hand you a skirt. So lots of Muslim women got quite a kick out of seeing my 3 boys walking around the Temple Mount wearing skirts. Either way, it'll be a good laugh for everyone if you aren't quite prepared. But we don't want anyone to be left out either.